Good afternoon, members of the public and members of the committee. This is a special meeting of Los Angeles City Council's Planning and Land Use Management Committee. Mr. Mejia, can we begin our proceedings by calling the roll today?
Yes, sir. Mr. Harris-Dawson.
Present.
Mr. Lee.
Present.
Ms. Yaroslavsky. Absent. Ms. Padilla. Absent. And Ms. Hutt.
Here.
We have 3 members and a quorum, sir.
All right. We will start this meeting by taking public comment on agenda items. Our goal is to get to as many speakers as possible. We'll then move through the agenda one item at a time, hear staff presentations, and vote on the items accordingly. City Clerk, please read the rules for public comment into the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appellants and/or their representatives and applicants and/or their representatives will be allowed to speak for a total of 3 minutes per side unless otherwise noted by the chair. Members of the public wishing to speak on one agenda item only shall have an opportunity to speak for 1 minute. Appellants and applicants will be given an opportunity to speak when their item is called. Each appellant and applicant has a total of 3 minutes to speak. An appellant can choose to have a single representative speak on his or her behalf or divide the 3 minutes among his or her team. Anyone else, including an attorney or project manager, wishing to speak on an appellant's behalf who does not do so during this 3-minute period may offer 1 minute of public comment whenever the committee chairperson opens a public comment period for the meeting, which is usually at the beginning of the meeting. Therefore, we expect that appellants and applicants have their respective teams assembled and ready to present at the appropriate times today. Members of the public wishing to speak on more than one item shall state that and shall be allowed to speak for a total of 2 minutes. Failure to submit public comment in a timely manner before the public comment period for the item ends results in forfeiture in the opportunity to participate in public comment for the item. And Mr. Chair, for the record, the financial disclosure statements for items 6, 7, and 9 have been submitted and posted online to the respective council files.
All right, before we turn to public comment, I want to open the floor to any additional recommendations council members or staff may have for items before us today. Now is the time to read additional recommendations, amendments into the record. Mr. Mejia.
Mr. Harris-Dawson, I believe the city attorney needs to read some language into the record.
We are eager to hear that language at this moment.
Deputy City Attorney Amy Brothers, when speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not speaking on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are speaking on an agenda item, you will get one brief warning from the city attorney. If you do not immediately get clearly on topic, or if you stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your time and we will move on to the next speaker. We will inform you when your time is up.
All right. Now for the amendments, corrections, additions, Mr. Mejia?
I don't have any, sir.
Okay. And so with that, we'll go to public comment. Just so folks know, there's a request to continue item number 13. There's a request to continue that item until the 1st of October, 2024. So if you came to give comment on that, just know we won't actually, the intention is to hear that on a different day. So with that, we'll call names, you'll line up, and come to speak at the podium for 1 minute on up to 2 items.
Goat Puppet, Tina, Jose Luis, Lindsay Ruiz, Donald Harlan, Sonia Ho, Leo Malace, or Malacy.
All right, you can come up in any order. You don't have to come up. As long as your name has been called, you can approach the lectern and begin sharing with us your comments.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, good
Hi.
afternoon. I'm here for, you're saying we don't have public comment, right? It's just on 3 agenda items?
Yeah,
Is
this is a
this
special
correct?
meeting, so there's no general public comment, only comment on items.
Okay, but I get 3 or?
2.
Right, 2, okay, thank you. The first one I want to speak on is agenda item 2. I just want to say, I just ran into Mr. Soto Martinez, and he was so amazingly helpful to me. He sent me straight up to his office to speak with his office people about my concerns, and it shows to me a real person that is really interested in getting to understand and the needs and concerns about the people. Unlike, the other day when a certain councilman ran away from a woman in a chair to run up the stairs, knowing I can't follow. We'll let that person remain nameless this time unless they want to admit to it themselves. And so I want to support Mr. Soto Martinez in his claims. He seems like he really seems to want to do what's best for the city. I'm very happy with his response. He was very friendly. He took the time and stopped and talked to me. The respect I was shown was so overwhelming. Not overwhelming, but it was a breath of fresh air. Because a lot of times, let's be honest, you guys don't want to hear what we have to say. We're the pesky public that you just would like to, oh man, here we have to deal with them again. And I'm really disappointed about the other day when I was left in the dust and you went up the stairs when I was bringing very important issues that is going to leave the city at risk of being sued for some very serious violations. And you're not willing to take the time to give me 1 minute of your time. It was really ridiculous, and you know who you are. And you can look at, there's a video, everyone's going to know who you are. Anyway, that being said, I would like to support, the councilman and what he's trying to do. He seems like he really does genuinely care. And for the next agenda item is number 7, that, the building and safety concerns. I've been bringing that there's an 8-story crack in a building on.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Speaker.
your comments about our colleague. Thank you so much.
Before the next speaker begins, Mr. Chair, I will call the last name on the list.
Okay?
Ira Belgrade, Yimbiele.
All right, so that will close public comment. So if your name's been called, you can come up and speak. And after that, we will move to items. Please start the clock.
Start the clock, criminals. On item number 2, CD 1 and 1314, regarding the exemptions, I find that fuck item number 2. And by the way, fuck item number 3. However, on item 13 that I can't speak on, fuck item 13 till October. And then look at here, the mayor's reappointments of all these fucking niggers to some bullshit commission. Aren't we tired of who we elect to put people in positions that they don't know how to do their job, like Jose Luis Huizar, who was one time on Plum, no longer here because we got the other spook up there who's fucking up our city. Because he don't like us Negroes sleeping on a sidewalk and street or on a bench, what Judge Carter said. But fuck Judge Carter, he took too long to respond to that homelessness shit. Then look at number 5, Giga to East Los Angeles area planning. Well, fuck that one too. And look at number 6, who's this person? There's no Samson in here. The only Samson is me, because I'll beat Goliath to death. That's why they call me David. And send my Jew ass back to Israel and bury the niggers. And then look at number 7, Corsia Hernandez. Well, I got nothing bad to say about the bitch, but let me go on to number 8 now, because I only get 2 minutes, no non-agenda public comment, and you refuse to take public comment because of this little hidden priceless plum meeting you're holding. And it's the same corruption you've been doing for years, brother.
You're not on any topic on the agenda.
Yeah, I'm on the Heritage Commission shit, like you, shit. Then I go to number 9, the mayor's bullshit on Los Angeles, Pruitt South, whatever. Fuck that one too. And for the record, fuck Kamala Harris, and fuck your surcharges on taxing us for all this bullshit you're doing, except for Miss.
That's your time. Next speaker. You're going to move to your right quickly. This is your first warning for disrupting the meeting. Your next disruption will result in your expulsion.
Ira Belgrade, Yimbiele. I'm one of the people who helped get our state ADU laws passed in 2016 and contributed to HCD's guidebooks. The city's ADU ordinance is not state compliant. It never was. I didn't object in 2019 because I wanted to see ADUs flourish. Not only can you not approve the Ulysses Hernandez motion, you need to revise the city's ordinance and remove all of the fire severity zone restrictions, which are illegal. The city just made them up to appease homeowner associations, but they're not based on any laws. Per Government Code 65852.2, under no circumstances can you ever require someone to widen a road or provide a parking spot if they meet one of the 5 exemptions, or provide fire sprinklers if the main house isn't required to have them. Those provisions make our ordinance null and void by law. The ordinance needs to be corrected and these provisions removed. Read the statute, HCD's guidebooks, and the letter I've given you, and you'll see I'm correct. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Get my black ass in 2 minutes.
Which items would you like to speak on?
Well, nigga, I never said 2 minutes. It must be all the items multiple comment, right? See
Which
that?
2 items do you want to speak on?
But I won't speak on all motherfucking items. If that can be done. Yeah, they already stopped my clock. Can you restart my clock? You interrupt my mind. No, okay. So you see, you got this bullshit here with a bunch of goddamn planning commissioners. We like to call them FBI witnesses of the future. So remember, all of you, make sure you record all your votes and any context you have with any of these council members. So later on, when the FBI put you under oath, you can tell them that you didn't steal. See, you gotta steal. That's why they putting people on these commissions that they just cannon fodder. They fucking put you in front like pawns on a chessboard. The queen stealing, the king stealing. Lee, he trying to get the $60,000 for his fine. Maybe Heather Hood can give him a loan if he sells CD12 to CD10. But you know, that's the thing here. We call it in the FBI office overt acts. That's when you schedule meetings and deprive public comment. This is called the Weezer 2.0. And that's why Weezer going to jail tomorrow for 13 years. And then Marquise Weezer 2.0 will begin after Election Day. When the new search warrants and subpoenas come in, remember when they knock on your door and you don't answer, they can kick your door in. Call Jacoby and Myers.
If you need translation into English next time, please let us know in advance. Next speaker.
Good morning. I would like to speak on number 5 and number 7. Number 5 is about the appointment of Jamie Giga to East Los Angeles Planning Commission. I'm here to support, voice my support for Councilmember Kevin De Leon to join this East Los Angeles Area Planning Commission. I have seen over the years, if there's any one single council member who understands the struggle from East Los Angeles, that's Kevin De Leon. If there's any council member who actually provide a real community service, who actually care the people from East Los Angeles, the people who live on the street, who people who experiencing mental health, who people who experiencing overdose, who people who experiencing past criminal release from the probation, that's Kevin De Leon. I actually see him in numerous occasions, in numerous news articles, KTLA, CBS, NBC, of doing amazing services to East Los Angeles area. So I will support Kevin De Leon in this commission. And then number 7 is about Carissa Hernandez to the Board of Building and Safety Commission. I am here to support Councilmember Kevin De Leon to join this Board and Building and Safety Commission. Over the years, I have seen Kevin De Leon having those small village home services. He makes sure every single person who live in that building are safe. When community member voiced the support that that building is not safe, Kevin De Leon responded with the Sheriff Villanueva, responded with the LAPD, and I actually really appreciate for all of the building and the safety services that Kevin De Leon have done to this community. Instead, I have seen numerous council members continue to isolate Kevin De Leon, but I would like to call if all of our council members can love each other, work with each other, hold each one's hand, we can.
All right. Are there any more speakers? All right, we don't see any more speakers. So we can begin our deliberation. So first we'll begin with the action of continuing item number 13 to October 1st, 2024. If there's anything that needs to be read into the record in that regard, we can do that now.
There isn't, sir.
Okay.
I can call the roll for
Okay.
the continuance. Mr. Harris Dawson,
Yes.
Mr. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. Yaroslavsky, absent, Ms. Padilla, absent, Ms. Hutt.
Yes.
That's 3 members, and that item is continued, sir.
All right, the chair is requesting that my colleagues on the committee adopt items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, items 1 through 10 on consent. Mr. Lee.
I was wondering if we had an opportunity, I know we're going to take those, but I just wanted to just say that item number 6, a reappointment of Mr. Victor Sampson, is someone I've known for a long time. No one understands planning issues more in the North Valley than this gentleman, and I urge this committee for an aye vote. I hear you're taking on consent, so I'm hopeful that's the
Thank
outcome.
you. We're eager about all of the folks here. We have Ms. Phyllis Klein, Mr. Joe Gatlin, Jaime Gallega, Victor Sampson, Carissa Hernandez, I see in the audience, Pilar Buelna, Stacy Pruitt in South LA, and Jacob Saltman. So those are our appointees and reappointees. Thank you to those of you who have come to be with us today. We're very excited about those of you who have served and just as excited about those who are new to service. So thank you from all of us on the entire LA City Council. Councilmember Hutt?
Yes, I just want to echo the thank yous. We know that it's a labor of love when you dedicate your time to the city and the workings of the city. So thank you so much.
All right, and if Mr. Mejia will call the roll, you guys can all beat Friday traffic.
Yes, sir. I should note that on item 1, there is a Chief Legislative Analyst report. Mr. Isco from the CLA's office is here to do a summary of the recommendations that need to be adopted for the record, sir.
All right, so can we do items 2 through 10?
Yes, sir.
We can vote on those and then we'll come back
Yes,
to
so
this?
on item 2, sir, Ms. Hernandez's motion relative to ADUs and junior ADUs, that motion needs to be adopted. So for the record, item 2, the recommendation is to adopt that motion. And I will call the roll on items 2 through 9, 2 through 10. Mr. Harris Dawson,
Yes.
Mr. Lee,
Aye?
Ms. Yaroslavsky is absent, Ms. Padilla is absent, and Ms. Hutt.
Yes.
That's 3 ayes, and those items are adopted, sir.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. We'll go now to item number 2.
Item number 1, sir.
Oh, sorry, item number 1.
Yeah, Mr. Isco is here to summarize the recommendations.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. Oscar Ishko with the Office of the Chief Legislative Analyst. The item before you is a CLA report that contains recommendations approved by the Transfer of Floor Area Rights Public Benefit Payment Trust Fund Committee. And those recommendations include the approval of 47 projects and programs with their respective funding amounts for a grand total of $16.6 million from the TFAR Trust Fund. These projects have been deemed eligible by the CLA and the Planning Department and are in accordance with the TFAR Ordinance 181574. The report also includes a recommendation to reprogram $130,475 from a 2014 TFAR allocation to the Community Plan Implementation Overlay for Temple, Beverly, and 3rd Street corridors in CD13. And this money would be going to the PWC Cultural Placemaking Project, also in CD13. The reprogramming of $250,000 from a 2018 allocation to the Urban TXT Programming Project in CD9. These funds would go to the Urban Wall Street Ecosystem and Sustainable Communities Project in the amount of $100,000, the Gang Intervention and Community Healing Project in the amount of $100,000, and the Legacy Business Program in the amount of $50,000. Lastly is a recommendation for the reversion of $1 million from the La Opinion Affordable Housing Project in Council District 9, which was rescinded, and $819,356,000 from the City Planning Administration budget, which are funds that are no longer needed, for a total of $1.8 million that would be reverted back to the TFAR Trust Fund. And that concludes the recommendations, along with the necessary administrative actions to transfer these funds.
Thank you so much. If there's no discussion, Mr. Mejia, you can call the roll.
Yes, so the action being to adopt the CLA reports on file and the recommendations as read into the record by Mr. Isco at today's meetings. Mr. Harris Dawson.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Aye.
Ms. Yaroslavsky, absent. Ms. Padilla, absent. And Ms. Hutt.
Yes.
That's 3 ayes, and that item is approved, sir.
Thank you. That takes us to item number 11.
Yes, sir. Item 11 is a categorical exemption from CEQA, report from the Cultural Heritage Commission to include the Sword Apartments in CD 13 as a historic cultural monument.
All right, we have a report from the Department of City Planning on this item.
Good afternoon, Chairman Harris Dawson and members of the committee. I am Andres Parra with the City Planning's Office of Historic Resources. Before you today is the recommendation from the Cultural Heritage Commission to designate the Sword Apartments located on the corner of 2nd Street and St. Andrews Place in the Greater Wilshire area as an historic cultural monument. Constructed in 1933, the subject property was designed by master architect Milton J. Black. The Cultural Heritage Commission found that the Sword Apartments embodies the distinctive characteristics of a style, type, period, or method of construction as an excellent example of a multifamily residential building designed in the Monterey Revival architectural style. This concludes my report. Melissa Jones and I from our office are available for many questions. Thank you.
All right. I don't see representatives or an owner or applicant present. If one is present, make yourself known at this moment. We'll allow you to comment. Seeing none and no comment from members of this committee, I'll move that we recommend this we approve this inclusion. If you can call the roll, Mr.
Yes, sir. Mr. Harris Dawson.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Aye.
Ms. Yaroslavsky is absent. Ms. Padilla is absent. And Ms. Hutt.
Yes.
That's 3 ayes, and that item is approved, sir.
All right. That takes us to item number 12.
Item 12, sir, is a categorical exemption from CEQA, report from the Cultural Heritage Commission to include the Disney Brothers Studio in CD4 as a historic cultural monument.
All right. Department of City Planning, you're on.
Yes. Before you today is the recommendation from the Cultural Heritage Commission to designate the Disney Brothers Studios located on the corner of Kingswell Avenue and Vermont Avenue in Los Feliz as an historic cultural monument. The nomination was initiated by the Cultural Heritage Commission. The subject property is a vernacular 2-story commercial building constructed at an unknown date between 1914 and 1919. Starting in 1923, the subject property served as the first home of the Disney Brothers Studio, which initially occupied the rear space of a real estate office before renting a neighboring storefront in the building. At this location, Walt and Roy Disney were able to hire their first staff members and produce their first successful cartoon series before outgrowing the space and relocating to a newly constructed studio space in Silver Lake. The Cultural Heritage Commission found that the subject property exemplifies contributions to the broad cultural, economic, or social history of the nation, state, city, or community as the location of Walt and Roy Disney's first West Coast animation studio business, Disney Brothers Studio, from 1923 until 1926. This concludes my report. Melissa Jones and I from our office are available for any questions. Thank you.
All right. If we have an owner or applicant here or representative from CD4 that'd like to be heard now, please make yourself known. All right, seeing none, seeing no comments or questions from the committee, I'll move that we approve this inclusion as well. If you can call the roll, Mr. Mejia.
Yes, sir. And for the record, sir, there's a communication from CD4 in support of this nomination that has been transmitted to the council file. I'll call the roll. Mr. Harris Dawson.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Aye.
Ms. Yaroslavsky, absent. Ms. Padilla, absent. Ms. Hutt.
Yes.
That's 3 ayes, and that item is approved, sir.
All right, can you confirm that that concludes our business for today, Mr. Mejia?
Yes, it does, sir.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody.